Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like getting wild and just being a lurker and not saying anything at all, you can do that too. It is a Saturday evening. I am working on a model kit. We are finishing up the Gundam X non-grade. If you were unaware, we began that kit on Thursday. It is a kit from 1996, if you can believe it. All way back in the year 1996, this kit came out. It is a non-grade, which means it is not a high grade. It is just a model kit. It is a little smaller. Lashbrook's here. Hello, Lashbrook. There are corners taken. Hey, Vash, welcome. The corners that are cut are generally color. There are stickers, but the stickers aren't necessarily color correcting in all cases. Like the feet on this kit, they give you instructions of like, hey, if you want to paint this, this is the part that you would paint white. And it's like, oh, you didn't do that? Which makes sense for the kit that came at this time. This is one of the oldest model kits that I've built on stream. It's not the oldest. The oldest kits I've built on stream are from 1994. They are the G Gundam kits. Those non-grades are even smaller than this. This is closer to a high grade than those were. Those kits took no time at all, had a few stickers. The instruction was like one page, like double-sided one page. Those are the oldest things I've ever built on this stream. This is close to that, but is closer to what a high grade actually looks like. And in fact, when we go here to the overhead camera, the reference photo I'm using right here is from the high grade version because I cannot find a photo of this kit easily. I could not easily find a photo of this version of the kit. And you can kind of see that in this photo here, I'll make it a little bigger so you can kind of tell what the deal is here. You can see the weapon here is multicolored, but this version of the weapon is not. It's all one color, and so they would want you to paint them so that the gun was color accurate. That would be on me, which I don't want that to be on me. I want that to be on them. But what are you gonna do? Again, a kit from 1996. I'm just happy that it doesn't suck to put together. That's the thing that I'm like, hell yeah, this kit does not make me furious. That's incredible. Also, we started with the feet and the legs, and then they wanted me to do the chest, which I did some of and I didn't finish, and then I jumped to do the waist so I could put the legs together. Starting from the bottom of a kit is so weird to me. Not starting at the head or chest just feels so strange. This is a thing that I almost always, I try to consistently anyway, but sometimes I don't do it. But I almost always, when assembling a kit, I follow the order that is presented to me, and I don't just go off on my own and do my own thing. And that might be an issue. I should maybe just do it whenever I want to do it. But I've often kind of just said, like, this is what they want, so I guess I'll do it. Let's see. Goes like this, okay. This sticker has some cuts and folds in it, which is interesting. That's how we're going to get this sticker that has some bends to it to line up properly. Is interesting. For 1996, this is pretty advanced. I also don't know how well these stickers are going to hold. They are old. As far as I can tell, this is not a late reprint. One of the reasons why I'm convinced this is an actual kit from 1996 that lived in some warehouse somewhere until it was finally put on Amazon for me to purchase is that it was included with this one sheet that was information about all of the different Gundams in the series, and also, and as we talked about on Thursday, this is an advertisement for the anime. So this was them like, hey, you should fucking watch this anime. It's going to be fucking cool. We got one that transforms. This is the main thing from Gundam X. It's the Gundam X from Gundam X. This one's kind of like the heavy arms. Please watch our show. And to me, that's wild that this is included. So that does date it, because I don't think they would include the advertisement for the show in reprints of the kit or re-releases of the kit. So that does date it for me fairly accurately. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. And guess what, folks? I'll be wrong again. But that's where it seems to be. All right, so now we're going to finish off the chest here. We will have to panel line this, of course, but we'll get some stuff done here. And then we already did the waist, so we can just go to the next page here. Trying to read this 8 and 9. 8 is on this side, 9 is on the other. So we'll do 8 here and 9 there. I hope you're all doing well on this fine Saturday evening. I was at an Oktoberfest tonight. One of our neighbors, the couple that are friends with my parents, invited us over. She is from Germany, born and raised in Germany. And so she was doing a somewhat traditional and then also some stuff for people that wouldn't be down for it style Oktoberfest, which apparently does start in September. So doing it in September was not out of place. Part of it is the fact that they're going to Germany soon, so they wanted to have people over when they could. But also, it is not outside of the norm to do the festivities at this time. And it was fun. It was fun to hang out. Had some bratwurst, excellent. There was also not pulled pork. There was roasted pork, which was very tasty, and corned beef, which is not traditional. She just wanted to have something for people that wouldn't necessarily want the cased meats, which I think was totally fine. One thing that she made, which I believe is a traditional German dish, she made as an appetizer. She did not say the name of it, and I should have gotten the name because I thought it was really good. It was a bacon onion bread. It was excellent. It was like the onions were like sauteed and then baked. And so they were still kind of crunchy and sweet. And the bacon was in there and it was like layered. And I believe it is traditional as a dish. But I do not think I've ever had it before. And I thought that was phenomenal. That was fantastic. That was maybe the best thing I had while I was there. Also, one of the things I liked is if you follow me on Twitter or my Instagram, you will see a photo. Every time I am in this house, I take a similar photo. The first floor, the second floor has 2 bathrooms. Zeinbulkum is what comes up for that, says Vash. Thank you, Vash. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll have to Google it and see what's up. So this house, the master bathroom is upstairs and the other bathroom is upstairs, and they didn't have a downstairs bathroom when these folks moved into this house. So they converted a closet into a half bath, just the toilet and sink, not a shower or anything like that. And I take photos every time I'm in this bathroom because the closet was the only closet on that floor, and it's part of the staircase. So it's a bathroom where the toilet, the wall of the toilet goes up at an angle, and I've taken a photo because if you stand at it, like my head hits the part of the roof like this, and so I always take a photo with the wall like this, like it. If I was going to sit on that, I would have to back into the room to sit down, is what I will say. I have not done that, but if I was going to, I would have to back in because it's a very small little hall closet bathroom, and I always take a photo when I'm there. So that was one of the things that I was like, oh, this was very fun. Another thing is these fine folks that had us over, they often invite another couple who my parents are not necessarily friends with. This is their friends, but they're friendly. We're friendly with them, and they are from New York. He is from, I forget where he's from. He's from somewhere in the city, and she is from Washington Heights. And it's great to talk to them about New York. I feel like I still miss it very much. I miss my time in New York. I miss living in New York City. But having someone that I can chat with about a few things, or like I referenced the beer gardens in Astoria, and they were like, "Oh, I've been there," and it was like, "Oh, that's awesome that you've been there." It's always nice to talk to them about a few things, because like, there's a bunch of places I've never heard of that they've been to, and vice versa. But there is definitely common ground, and it does make me feel nice to be like, oh yeah, I can talk to them about this place and that place, or this vibe or whatever. Um, it was very funny. She was telling me how when they moved to New York from Mexico, they didn't know where to settle, uh, and they ended up in a Colombian neighborhood. And I was like, yeah, uh, because they didn't know where, if there was a Mexican population in New York, and they're in Brooklyn, but it's not as prevalent as a lot of other communities are. Uh, the Mexican population that first moved to New York and settled there moved in with the Irish communities in New York. And you're saying to yourself, Pat, that's a very weird thing. Well, in the French and Mexican War, we sided with Mexico, and we needed to send some soldiers. And we being the United States, didn't have a lot of soldiers to send. So we sent a lot of, or maybe we sided with France. Did we side with France? I'm sorry, my details are shot. But the short of it, I don't remember a lot of my facts here. But what I can tell you is, Irish immigrants right off the boat were conscripted for the American army and sent to Mexico to represent America. And when they came back, they had a kinship with a lot of the Mexican people that they met there. So when some Mexican people moved to America, a lot of them settled in Texas, and it moved up Oklahoma, moved west to California. The ones that moved east went to New York because a lot of the Irish that went back to New York wanted them to come. And then so a lot of the Mexican communities that forged in early New York forged in the outskirts of Irish communities, because this is a thing in many cities and many places in America. Was to get a leg up, you would go, because you don't know the language, right? You probably don't know English, but so you can get by if you go to a place where they speak the language of the country you're from. You may know somebody's uncle, that kind of thing. And also the white folks, and when I say white, I mean the English folks that became Americans, later the Italian Americans, whoever is in power generally doesn't want other immigrants to show up. That's a generality, but that is often the case. So if you are a part of a new crop, a new country that is coming to America, you may be shut out from a lot of opportunities. And the people that will give you opportunities, that will work with you, are other immigrants. Hey, Aristophan, from other countries that have settled and struggled. That's why Chinatown is basically why Little Italy is in Chinatown, because why they're around there is because those folks helped each other out. You may be able to rent a building or rent space in a building from somebody from another immigrant population that is also struggling, that will give you a chance where other people who are not struggling may not give you that chance. It doesn't work all the time. It doesn't work in every place, but that's often the reason why some of those smaller communities are near other smaller communities of other immigrants. Again, not always, but often. And then they expand, and then people come into money, and they come into wealth, and they start doing well, and then they move out of that area that they started in and move to other areas, which then start other turf wars and become other things. Hello, Meep, welcome. All right, we finished our chest here. We got our chest. We could just, I'm pretty sure we could just put it on. Build from the bottom up always feels weird. Yes, there's not a connector to connect these two, so we can just move this up here. And then, great. All right. Happy Saturday. Yes, happy Saturday to you too. So yeah, I did an Oktoberfest today. It was very lovely, very nice to hang out with folks. One thing I did not mention that I will right now is that it is September. Up until October 1st, if you have not been a subscriber to this channel before, you become one, you can save money. 25% off new subs. Remember not to use the Twitch app if you're signing up for anybody at any time. Don't use the Twitch app. Instead, you should make sure to just go to the website. Meep says, I've heard you speak fondly of New York a few times. Is moving back feasible? I mean, since you miss it. So Meep, it's the goal. I will say this, for those that are unaware, watching this later, watching this live, I lived in New York City from 2001 until 2020. I did not leave because I wanted to leave. I left because I ran out of money to live there. It was related to COVID. I was not necessarily doing particularly well financially at that point leading up to COVID. But I was getting by. I was making do. I was still in debt. I wasn't paying off my debts, but I was surviving. And then when all the theaters shut down because of the lockdown, I had no revenue coming in. And I had to move and leave New York, and I believed it to be temporary. And how do I know that I thought it was temporary? Well, because I have a storage unit with stuff. What I should have done was mail more things to this house and gotten rid of more things and not had a storage unit that I am still paying for. I shouldn't have done that. I did not know how long I would be here. I certainly did not think that I would be here for 4 years. Moving back to New York is still a thing. I have not given up on moving back to New York. I do not know how I would do that, unfortunately, right now. I certainly can't in the foreseeable future. And perhaps someday I will abandon the things that I have in New York and go up there, mail some stuff to myself, and then dispose of the rest. I certainly hate thinking like that, but it may unfortunately come to that at some point. But yeah, I mean, the hope is that someday I will be able to return. Meep says, storage units are a disease. I've been paying for one for 12 years. A sum of money that vastly outweighs the contents. Now I'm committed to it, though. Yeah, so I haven't hit that point yet where I have been paying more money than the contents is worth, because I have a couple things in there that are worth some amount of money. I have technical equipment in there for my previous jobs that I purchased over the years that is almost, we're getting close to it. I think we're about a year away from that being only sentimental value and not the worth of what's in there, which is a real kick in the butt, and eventually it will happen. I will eventually have that equal out. But yeah, I am now committed to keep that stuff there. I would like to move back to New York. It's going to require some things to fall into place that just haven't yet. But I am hopeful. I am not. I don't want to say I'm confident, because I'm not confident. But I am hopeful that that'll happen. Or someday I will go to New York to mail stuff back to myself, to bring suitcases to take as much as I can, and then to clear out what I can't take with me and go as in a wash. But I don't want to do that. So yeah, I just, someday I will, hopefully. That's always the goal. Lashbury says, despite living in Central Texas almost my entire life, I've never done an Oktoberfest. Yeah, I mean, there is lots of places in the United States have a German population. It is not outside the realm of possibility that you would have such a thing, but it is nice to have access to those. This was Oktoberfest. Was not beer tents and people drinking. This was a Oktoberfest party at a house. So, you know, a little bit of a different energy, but certainly welcome and a nice change of pace. Good food and good company. And like I said, two people from New York that I could talk to you about New York, which made me happy. All right. This instruction booklet is so small that sometimes it is hard to read. Also, I mentioned it does say, this says A2. It does have A1, A2, B1, and B2, but the parts don't say A1. They just say like 22. And number 22 is on A2. So this kit is trying. They're moving into what would be, the sprue numbering and lettering thing that would move forward. But they are still sort of transitioning into that. Again, this is a non-grade, which is closer to the size of high grades, the 144 scale that we will see in the future. It's close to that. This is still going to be smaller than a high grade, but it's getting closer. We're getting closer there in the 2 years. There are G Gundam kits that were high grades that came out around the time that started with non-grades. They didn't do a lot of high grades. I think they didn't do the full suite of heroes for high grades, and they only did I want to say they only did 2 master grades. I think they only did the Master Gundam, and they might have done 3. They might have done the Shining and Burning. They didn't even do a high grade of the Devil Gundam or the Dark Gundam, which I always found odd. That's only that's only the non-grade version. So they didn't do everything with this, but they did a lot. All right. So we got to build the shoulders here have 2 stickers, a top sticker and a bottom sticker. So we were going to put this piece together, and then we'll apply the stickers. We'll put the shoulder together, and then if it really wanted me to apply the shoulders second, or to apply the sticker first, I'll do that. But I think we're okay here. I think that's how they want me to go. Yeah, I think it's connect them and put the sticker on. I don't know. I'm going to use Google Translate because there's text on here that I want translated. I can't believe I did kits so long without putting Google Translate on my phone. I just didn't think about it for the longest time. Fit the shoulder parts together and then attach the seam and arm and seal. Okay, so seal, they mean sticker. So they're saying put the pieces together and then apply the stickers. Great. Otherwise, I would just guess. What I used to do was guess, and then what I also did sometimes was if I knew that there'd be or if I thought a bit of this kit was going to be frustrating to me for a future stream, between that, I would look up a video of someone putting it together, and not a speed build, but an actual build video or a review, and read someone's review and hear the things they liked and didn't like about the kit. Okay, so that's 46 is that piece, and that's 48. Great. And then I'll know the other ones are easy enough to do when it's the time to do the other arm. All right, so we'll put this together. We have to put this together on the arm itself here. So we snap that on. We snap that on. And then we apply the stickers, which I believe are below and above. Yeah, okay. And then, yes. And then these stickers are not numbered in Roman numerals or anything, so I have to kind of just go off looking at them. That is a flat line. Okay, so that's... Can't describe how these look. Those are the eye stickers, so I know it's not that. It's that one. And the other one is the Y. Okay. I think I know which ones we want here. This is the bottom sticker, which is going to go along here. Great. Okay. I'm figuring it out, friends. Figuring it out as we go. Isn't that fun? An update to a previous story that I reported here, or we talked about. I shouldn't say reported, we talked about. You may remember that there was a wild thing that happened not too long ago where every employee, except for one, at Annapurna Interactive, which is the video game subsidiary of Annapurna, every employee of Annapurna quit the same day. And later we realized actually that's everybody but one person that had recently been brought back to Annapurna and was then therefore got a new job, which we didn't necessarily know about, within it. And now IGN has done some reporting to kind of fill in the blanks, and we get a better understanding of what happened there. What we knew was that the leadership and the employees of Annapurna Interactive were trying to split off from Annapurna. They were trying to be independent, where Annapurna would still have money coming in, but the decisions of where the company was going, they were going to form a new name under the umbrella, but be independent within Annapurna. And so basically the idea was like, look, you will get a bunch of money, we will do what we want to do, and you won't tell us what to do, because that works out bad for us. And apparently, eventually, Ellison, Megan Ellison, the owner of Annapurna, was like, actually, no, I don't want to do that. And walked away from the deal, to which everybody left except for, what's his name? Sanchez. Hector Sanchez. Hector Sanchez was a founding member of Annapurna Interactive. He left to go to Epic, and then he left Epic recently and was brought back in. As well as another person that was brought back in. So now we have we kind of know more about this. Now, again, this is from sources to IGN. Folks have not gone on record about this. And also, I should say that Annapurna's, because of course Annapurna film still exists. And there are now, I believe, 2 employees of Annapurna Interactive. But they're hiring apparently. They refute almost everything that is reported in this story. So that should be taken with some grain of salt, that the PR person for Annapurna says this is bullshit. Okay, what had happened was Megan Ellison probably doesn't want to run a company. And at some point, she was already kind of withdrawn from the process and put the founder of Nathan Gary, who was one of the founding members of the Interactive, in charge of everything. She was like, he's in charge of everything. I'm just going to be a money person. We're just going to go with what's going on here. And I'll just kind of stand back. And that was really good for Annapurna Interactive. Now, apparently, that was not necessarily great for the other departments within Annapurna. The film, the television. There were various things that weren't necessarily, weren't super psyched about Gary, because Gary's focus was on the interactive group, which did thrive. They had published many great games. They were going to be, they had their own studio, and they were going to start doing their own work as well. And that was going well. The other departments weren't going as well. To the point where Megan's father, who, bankrolled the whole thing, was kind of also getting involved and trying to figure things out. At some point, and again, this is all reported by people close to stories and people who are in the know but remain anonymous. And it has been most of this has been refuted by the spokesperson for Annapurna, which, again, that said at some point fairly recently, Megan Ellison came back. Oh, I should say, sorry. Larry Ellison had stepped in like 2018. And one of the things happened was basically she kind of disappeared. Things were working with just without her. Named Gary president of all Annapurna, kind of disappeared again. They did Stray, Outer Wilds, What Remains of Edith Finch, Cocoon, had a lot of things were going well. The film and television became profitable by 2023. Annapurna Pictures didn't necessarily love Gary because he was focused more on the video game stuff. And then they hired some people that wasn't thrilled about. But anyway, basically this year, Megan Ellison returned. And Gary Sanchez came in. And suddenly, the guy who was running the whole company for her was suddenly only running Interactive again and wasn't running the whole company. And directives were coming in, and the folks were not happy about this. They were not happy about this change with no notice. They were not happy about people coming in and doing different things. Apparently, and I'll say this, you could easily argue no one in the Interactive needed to know about Control, the deal with Control, because Control 2 is being self-published, but Annapurna Pictures is going to handle the TV distribution, or TV rights and development for Control, right? But the fact that they are doing a video game adaptation and didn't tell anyone in the video game department was a big red flag for a lot of folks, because you could theorize, well, why didn't we try to do a package deal? Why aren't we producing and publishing Control 2? Why aren't we doing everything? Why is Annapurna Pictures making a deal with a video game company and not using Annapurna Interactive? Especially when the now head of Interactive used to be the head of all of it, or the person running all of it. Why did that happen? And at a certain point, things change. Another employee gets brought in. As I said, Sanchez comes back in a different role that definitely feels like it's a new boss, but isn't a new boss, but definitely feels like a new boss. And folks at the top of the Interactive say, all right, we got to get out of this. So they pitched the idea of becoming a different company. And why did they pitch this idea? Well, they fired someone because the new person that came in, a new person came in, and then they fired James Massey, who had been promoted in a role that some people didn't like, but people in Interactive liked. He got let go because he was made redundant because of a new hire. And then Gary quit the company. Nathan Gary quit the company. Nathan Gary just kind of quit. I mean, that's weird. Because the spokesperson for Pictures was like, yeah, and then he quit and we worked things out. But then people on the Interactive side were like, he was forced out. He was all but forced out. They couldn't fire him. They made him quit. And there was a minor revolt within the company, within the Interactive. And a bunch of people quit because their boss and their two heads of the company were suddenly out. So a bunch of people were like, okay, well, we're leaving, including another person that they thought would stay. And they were like, we don't want you to quit. So come back. We're going to figure this out. Ellison had a video call. She tried to get people back. She wants to keep everybody. She wants to bring people back in that quit. And also, hey, the people that were fired, we'll bring them back too. So that's the idea. And so they bring people back. Of course, we don't know this. This doesn't make news. At this point, that shit hadn't leaked out, which is wild that it hadn't leaked out, but it hadn't leaked out. So the compromise that they come up with is that the Interactive comes up with, okay, there's not a lot of trust here. Things are getting really weird. It's time to like figure out a way to spin this off. We want to spin this off. We'll do a revenue split. Annapurna will actually like get more money out of the revenue split, but Annapurna won't. The big thing was Annapurna wouldn't have say in some of the deals that this new company, Verset, would be making. Which is a wild thing and probably doesn't work, but that's what they're going for. And leadership seems gung-ho about this at Pictures. Annapurna Pictures seems like they're coming around on it. This might actually work out. This scenario, which seems kind of ridiculous, might actually play out and work. And then recently, it became very clear that was not going to work out. That they walked away, and Megan Ellis was like, "No, we're not going to do this. This is not going to work out." So everybody walked. And when I say everybody, I mean every single employee of Annapurna Interactive left, except for Sanchez, who was brought in to be. He was not brought in to be an Interactive. He was made an Interactive employee when everyone else left. He is now interim president, appointed president of Interactive and New Media. So he comes in and he stayed. He did not leave when everybody else left. Let's see. Yes, in August, they were just like, yeah, we're done. And they said, according to Annapurna, the reason why it didn't work out is that Gary was slow to respond to messages and wasn't signing things. And their statement is, we did want to split off, but it's all on Gary. They're blaming Gary for it, which seems like very wild considering all of the employees of Interactive were just like, oh, they don't want to do it anymore? Okay, we'll leave. Like, it's not like there was a dissenting opinion, seemingly, that were like, oh, well, Gary's fucking this up for us. Apparently, it's a united front. It sounds like most partners did not know that this shit was going to hit the fan at all. And a few knew the day before they all quit. But most did not, which is wild because they now only they now know one person to call, maybe, because there's only one employee at the company now. They're hiring more. Whole thing seems like it can be summed up as nepotism. So it definitely feels like that. Well, it feels like Megan Ellis, again, according to reports here, again, at Megan Ellison should not have been running this company. And then didn't want to, brought someone in to right the ship, but he was writing the ship in a direction she didn't want. So then she made other plans to right the ship in the way that she wanted to be wrote. And then had a revolt on her hands. Now, apparently, these folks gave 2 weeks notice. That's the thing that's wild to me is everybody quit and gave 2 weeks notice. And within that 2 weeks, most of the people that are partners that are counting on this, to get their games published, didn't hear within those 2 weeks. 25 employees quit and gave 2 weeks notice. So Sanchez, and in the time that those 2 weeks happened, they hired a new person, Chief Strategy Officer Paul Doyle. So the company right now, Interactive, has, I believe, 2 employees. And yeah, and they didn't tell people, they didn't know how to do this. They of course deny that. They said we've been open communication this whole time. Basically, everything from this report was denied one way or another by their PR, which of course it was. And one thing that's interesting is there is a website for Versat that has a connection with a PR firm. But this is according to the various reports here from IGN. They don't have a backer. These folks didn't leave with something in place together. We don't know if all of them are going to stay. If people are looking for other jobs, if they'll leave those jobs when something happens here. But it's not like someone stepped in with a plan. They left, and what seems like, again, we don't know for sure, seems like look, if we can't do this the way we want to do this, we're not going to do it, which is wild for any company, but especially wild for a video game company and a video game publisher, especially in this current video game, development climate, to take a risk. But it seems like all of them left to take a risk, and they're going to see what's going on. Sanchez has stated his intention to both backfill roles as well as work with outside agencies to fulfill the contractual obligations. And they posted a open role for a QA manager to oversee multiple external QA teams. So basically, they don't want to hire a QA department. They want to hire a QA coordinator for other things for their, the games that they're helping, because it seems like anyway that they handle QA as part of their deal with developers, which is good. It's a good publishing thing. So they have to fulfill those contracts by doing that. There is no word on Blade Runner 2033 Labyrinth, because the director of that, Chelsea Hash, is one of the people who resigned, and other full-time members left. And Annapurna's like, development will continue despite departure, which seems like, okay, sure. The Annapurna spokesman acted like this whole thing was wild, which it is, but it's interesting that their take on it was to act like this is weird and crazy. They were like, the whole situation is a baffler. Like, what? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess they didn't blink when Megan Ellison made the call to just be like, actually, we're not doing that. I don't think they expected everyone to quit. So it is wild that it is fucking wild that everyone was just like, yeah, peace. Very strange. All really weird. Yes. Meep. I mean, it really does seem like this report does make it seem like Megan Ellison maybe put the wrong person in charge of all of the company, and maybe should have hired, elevated someone from within to work on the pictures and development side, and then leave Gary in charge of the interactive side, Nathan Gary. That does seem like a thing they maybe should have done. And then maybe also don't fire a key member of the staff because you hired someone new, and therefore the older person's job is redundant when that person is beloved by a staff that is already weirded out by you coming back and making changes and all of that. And again, it's her company. She can do this shit if she wants to. It's just that some people may have a difference of opinion about that. And those people made their opinion known by fucking bouncing. It's wild. It's a wild thing. And yeah, it is a unique, interesting story, and I appreciate Rebecca Valentine from IGN for putting that together and doing the legwork. I believe there will be other reports. I believe Bloomberg is going to be doing a report. It has been collecting stuff. Jason Schreier has been doing some stuff. So I believe that will be coming as well. And we might have some other insight because his sources, he may have some people actually go on record. Who knows? But yeah, it's fucking wild. Let's see. Not a lot of other news in the video game world. It was Geek Week, or sorry, Geeked Week. My apologies. It was fucking Geeked Week for Netflix. So there were some announcements. We got a trailer for Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, which was announced last year, but we got a trailer and a release date. This is set after the events of the Survivor trilogy, is what they call it there. Arrives on Netflix October 10th. So that is a bit of news there. That trailer looks pretty fun. I don't necessarily think I'm going to watch it. Oh, I don't have Netflix right now. I will get it probably in October. I will get Netflix. I will catch up on the Dump series, the wrestling series, and some other stuff. So I'll probably get it back then. We got a look at the trailer for Splinter Cell Death Watch, which is 4 years since the first announcement of it, which people thought wasn't going to come out. Sam Fisher thing. Liev Schreiber is doing the voice and not Michael Ironside, which is strange. No release date on that, but this is like the most concrete stuff we've had of this thing that some people thought had gotten canceled and apparently has not been canceled. So it is coming out. It is weird to hear Sam Fisher being voiced by someone else, but Michael Ironside is definitely like well known enough. It's very strange. Liev Schreiber is a good voice actor though, so sure. More of the Castlevania sequel series is coming out January 25th. This is the sequel to Castlevania Nocturne. That's coming out next year. The Witcher: Sirens of the Deep premieres Netflix February 11th, 2025. And they shared a clip out there. That is a movie, not a show. I thought it was a show, but apparently that is a movie. And it is based on a short story written by the Witcher creator. So it is based on something from the Witcher universe. December, Monument Valley 3 comes out in December. Reminder, there have been a lot of accusations led at the studio that makes Monument Valley. Working conditions there, particularly terrible. But the third in the series is coming out and is set to release in December, exclusively on Netflix games. Devil May Cry. The Netflix animated Devil May Cry series is called Devil May Cry. There is no subtitle. There is no anything. It is just being called Devil May Cry. And that'll be out April 2025. And it looks pretty cool. The teaser is short, but looks pretty fucking rad. I completely fucking forgot that in 2019, Netflix was like, we're making an animated thing, an animated series based on and in the world of Magic the Gathering. Now, if you were unaware of this, not of Magic the Gathering, Magic the Gathering has a lot of goddamn fucking lore. Every expansion that comes out has lore to it. There is a story. It's funny how this is the second Devil May Cry anime called Devil May Cry. Yes, Lashbrook, I should have been clear about that. When I said there isn't a subtitle, it's just called Devil May Cry. I should have specified that there's already an anime called Devil May Cry that's just called that. And so I was expecting them to have something, but they're not. They're just doing a new one and calling it that. And yeah, and I think that is weird. So Magic the Gathering, way back in 2019, they're like, hey, we're going to make an animated series for Netflix about Magic the Gathering. And it was like, okay, good luck to you. And a lot of people were just like, that must have died, right? Because they have not fucking talked about it. Apparently, it is not dead. And Terry Matalis is the new showrunner. Apparently they replaced the showrunner, and they don't have any date for it, but they confirmed they're still working on it and that it is not dead. And that's fucking wild. Good for them. But yeah, I am surprised, is what I'll say there, that they are making that. I took this piece out. I don't need this piece yet. So, oops. Where's the beam? There's the beam. Always a good sign of quality when your showrunner gets replaced. Yes. And when no one talks about it for 5 years. That's also an incredibly strong sign. Let's see. Anything else from Geeked Out that we want to talk about here? This doesn't make any fucking sense. There's going to be a mobile game through Netflix called Bloodline, a Rebel Moon game. That's right. Netflix has already dumped so much fucking money into Rebel Moon that they're going to make a game, and they didn't cancel that game. They're going to go through with it, even though nobody's fucking watching Rebel Moon. Either one of the Rebel Moons. Nobody watched those. Nobody loves that. Some people probably like it, but it did not set the world on fire. And nope, they're still going to do their game. Bloodline, a Rebel Moon game, will be released soon. It's coming soon. No date other than soon. That just seems wild to me that they're going to do that. Again, this should be a piece that I'm currently working on. This should have been something you painted. It is just white. That's a bit frustrating, but it'll still look cool. Let's see. I'm just hitting this. I'm just going to do a quick and dirty. I don't have to get too detailed with this. And I believe that's everything that was announced for Geeked Week that makes sense to talk about. Yes, that's it for Geeked Week. The only other thing I know that I thought maybe we could talk about briefly is just let's see. I think we know who is making Echoes of Wisdom, which is the game that is, where Zelda is the main character. Apparently it's Grizo. People that pre-ordered Echoes of Wisdom have seen the name Grizo in there. So apparently, Grizo is the company that has been mostly doing ports and remakes of Zelda games. And so it looks like they got tapped to make their first ever game in the franchise. It's not them making a remake, which is awesome. Nintendo won't confirm it. And it's so weird that they don't do that. Also, the studio ported Luigi's Mansion to 3DS. And they made the Link's Awakening remake in 2019. They did the Four Swords port to DSi. and the Ocarina of Time 3D and Majora's Mask 3D to the 3DS ports. But yeah, basically, when they were like, who's making this? Nintendo just goes, wait until it comes out and look in the credits, which is so weird. That's how we found out who the voice of Mario was when they had a new voice for Mario in the games. Like, you're just like, oh, wait and see. And it's a very strange thing for Nintendo to do that they've been doing a lot lately. Even for Nintendo, it's weird. All right, this kit is headless. And we'll build the head in a little bit here. We will have some stickers to apply, and I gotta read I gotta translate this here first. Let me see. Attach the sticker on first, it says. All right, so once we put the sticker on, the two stickers it wants to go on before I attach other parts to the head. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, we got some stickers that need to go on this head here, and we'll have to build the head because right now we have a headless horseman style thing here, and that's not what you want on your model kit. You don't want your model kit to be a headless horseman. Unless that's the vibe you're going for, but in this case, that's not the vibe we're going for. All right, so it's all these pieces here. That's the head. But yeah. It looks like the people that mostly have done ports are making this new Zelda game, and that's awesome. But it's so weird that they don't say that you have to like figure it out. Even for Nintendo, it's weird. And yeah, I think that's about it as far as the news goes. So what we'll do now is we'll go to this screen. I'm going to drink a little water right now because I need it. I had a lot of meats today. All right, what's going to happen now is I am going to do a pause for the cause. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. Everything I'm about to talk about here is optional. You are under no obligation to do any of these things. If you would like to, oh, that would be so great. But you don't have to. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber to the Build with Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you have this token you can use for anybody. If you want to use it for me, that would be great. I would love that. But if you aren't using it at all, make sure you use it for somebody. But you do Cash Money, as I said. Bits and coins are always appreciated. You could gift a sub. We've had no gifted subs this month, and that's okay. But also, it would be cool if we did. If we had some gifted subs, that would be rad as well. Now, also, should say it's September. So if you want to save money on your first ever sub for my channel, you could save money, 25% off for the first time new sub discount. And then starting on the 26th, if you gift 5 subs, there will be a 6th gifted sub. But that's starting soon. Right now, that's just for you. Again, bits and coins always appreciated if you want to do that. There are other ways to support what I do here. Twitch is just the easiest because you're already here. And reminder, if you're going to subscribe to me or anyone else, any other affiliate or partner, if you're, partners too, don't use the app. Go to a website to do it. Save yourself some money monthly that way. Don't pay the iOS tax. Let's see. I also, if you want to support me financially on a monthly basis, which I would love, and you don't want to do it through Twitch, there are other options. You could go to my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. My $10 patrons decided what I'm building next. They picked a model kit for me to build next, and I'm excited about that. Various rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. I would love it. And then also, I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube channel, you can subscribe for free, of course. Subscriptions over there are free, and I would love it if you could. And if you wanted to, while you're there, you could become a member through YouTube. If you use, Google Pay all the time, and it's already there, linked with your YouTube, you could do that. For $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday, so you'll know what the last video in Isekai month, which has been this month for my Kuma Baer series, you'll know what the fourth one is before other people. You find out early for just $2 a month. Those are monthly ways to support me. If you would like to help me out on a one-time deal, you can do a direct donation through my PayPal or through my Ko-Fi. Everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me, through my Patreon and through my Twitch, all goes into a fund, and from that fund, I buy model kits. I pull money out to buy model kits, like this Gundam X non-grade, one of the oldest kits I've ever built. I was able to pick this up because of your generosity. Past you is helping present me. So if you want to help out future me, you can join me on Patreon or Twitch or YouTube. However, on a monthly basis, or if you want to decide what I build next, and the best way for you to do that is to buy a kit for me to build, you could do that through my Amazon wishlist. Anything purchased from my wishlist will come to me in the mail, and it will get a dedicated video for my YouTube channel where I unbox it and talk about it, and thank you for that. And then also, it'll jump the queue and become the next thing I build, because that's the least I could do, is let you jump the backlog. I have inexpensive kits, expensive kits, very fun Lego. I recently added another Lego Technic. I've never built a Lego Technic on stream. I have two now on my wish list. There's one here that is a off-road racing buggy, buildable car toy for 8-year-olds, boys, girls, and kids who love rally contests, is what they say. It is This is the first time I have seen this, and I can't tell you for sure that this is the first time this has ever been there. But I've never seen them say, boys, girls, and kids who love rally contests. We found the third gender, and that's rally contest enthusiasts. But that's fucking progress as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I got a bunch of Lego sets. I got model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that are on sale, kits that don't have, like any sales, have never on sale, and are incredibly expensive. You should not purchase from me, but I like having a few kits that are fucking really expensive on the list. If there's any big spenders out there that want to spend $121 for me to build, so I can build a master grade Tallgeese Flugel, which is from which is basically the Tallgeese 3 with the Endless Waltz wings for the Wing Gundam for Endless Waltz. You could buy that if you wanted to for me to build. Don't spend $121, but also do spend $121. You got a big gift card to Amazon. You're burning a hole in your pocket. Set it my way. If you want to buy something for me to build on stream, but you don't want to go through Amazon, I fucking get it. I got a throne wish list for you. And if you want to buy something for me to build on stream, but you want to do it the most complicated, convoluted way possible, if you want to put yourself through hoops in order to facilitate me building model kits, here's what you would do. You buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. You get a gift card code. Yes, we're gonna. There we go. You get a gift card code. You then send me a DM on Twitter or Blue Sky or Mastodon or a Whisper here on Twitch with that gift card code, and then I will use that gift card code and buy something from USA Gundam Store. 3 people have done that before. It is the most ridiculous way to support me, but I love having it as an option. If you want to support me and not spend any money and you're looking for a fun Discord to join, I got a Discord. You're welcome to hang out there. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. It is a cool place for nice folks. And if you want to jump in there, we'd love to have you over on the Discord. A couple video links for you to check out at your leisure. You don't have to watch them now. Watch them later. The most recent episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club is up. If you want a video where I once again proclaimed the next big thing in anime. Check out that video where I talked about the concept of the banished subgenre, where the main character is banished from a thing and then becomes very powerful, or is always powerful. And everyone's like, ah, fuck. Or they're like, I can't believe it and I refuse to believe it. We'll talk about a series that could fit into the banished subgenre if you really wanted it to, but is mostly we didn't recognize how great you are. He's never really kicked out so much. We'll talk about I Parry Everything, the final episode, a little later here. And I guess you could put that in the banished category. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series. Every week I recommend another anime, and I do it in under a minute because it is a YouTube short, and they have to be under a minute. And in this one, which is one of my more popular somehow, very excited that did well this week, Reincarnated as a Sword, which is an anime about a person who's reincarnated as a sword. It's Isekai month. I talked about a reincarnated guy as a sword, and the cat girl Fran, who wields that sword and learns from that sword and is a very good girl. She's a good girl. And it's awesome that good things have happened to her. She lived a very hard life, and her trials and tribulations are rough. And so good on you, Fran. I'm glad you found a cool sword that you call master and makes you curry. It's awesome. It's very wholesome and fun. And at the very end of the show, they get a cool wolf dog companion. It's very good. It's a good time. Watch me gush about that show for 1 minute to tell you all about it. All right. I have some anime to talk about here that we will get into chatting about in just a moment. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about the anime. Before we do that, I do need to drink a bit more water. And we need to dramatically transition to our overhead camera. And we'll do that right now. All right. So let's continue this build here. We're working on the head. I have to apply tiny stickers. I should have done this at the start of the stream. I should have changed the times that I was building things so that I could do this. I'm also wondering, there are stickers that I didn't apply, and I'm starting to wonder if I missed them. Because I'm looking and I'm like, where are these stickers go? What do these stickers do? There are like 4 stickers here, and I don't see where they would have been applied. And that's weird. Because we did the arms with there. The head is going to be those 2. Oh, did they go on the legs? I didn't even see that. That's weird. They do go on the legs and on the side skirts. Huh. Oh, Lord Crashton, welcome. Congratulations on your 100th stream in a row. That's wild and cool. Yes, okay. So there are stickers here that they didn't tell me to apply them. But when I look at the photo, there are stickers. That's weird as hell. Let's build the head because it's tiny and I want to do that sooner rather than later. But then we do have stickers to go on the sides of this kit. Yeah, it just never told me about these stickers. So strange. Oh, I apply them at the end. What? Weird. Way after I built them, they want me to apply these stickers. Wild. Very strange. Anyway, we got to do that, but we got to build this head. And I also need to talk to you about Dungeon People, which is on High Dive, and I Parry Everything, which is on High Dive. I Parry Everything could be considered a banished series, sort of, because he is not able to graduate out of he can't get out of rank F. But we'll get to that. We're at episode 11 of Dungeon People, And there's some shit going on. The Adventure Guild and the Thieves Guild are conspiring, apparently. Shit is going down, and shit is not looking great here. We are introduced to a bunch of new characters, but we have some previous characters. Fen, who we saw like get beat up, but is clearly like learning from life lessons, and his crew are improving together, and they're discussing the idea that a bunch of adventurers who are also murderers have shown up at the dungeon. They are in this dungeon, and they are well known to be cold-blooded murderers and killing other humans, which is fucked. A explorer who we learn later what her name is looking at these murderers, and then we see her go from that to see other adventurers being trained to go back there. And apparently the guildmaster is just like, yeah, some people high up in the guild like this group. And because they're doing well, we're going to overlook the fact that they are clearly just, they love murdering adventurers. Clearly, they love murdering young adventurers. And apparently, the guilds are going to look the other way because they are successful at going through the dungeon. And we meet one of the girls there. We find out this group is led by Hilkmast, and there's also Bugs and Ototo. And then we learn that the girl who is clearly an employee of the guild is named Millicent, or Milulent. She is a priestess who apparently has been hanging out with this group and may or may not know that they are not cool. Sorry, I have to apply this goddamn sticker here. I have to apply a very tiny sticker and fold and bend it because the chin on here needs to be red, and we're going to do that via sticker, which is very small. And again, should have done this at the start of the stream and not now. And apparently, they're just like, yeah, things will work out. Word gets, and apparently the way things are going to work out is somebody in the Adventure Guild tips off Bell, the dungeon master, hey, there are some people in this dungeon that suck. So apparently the way they're going to handle it, even though some of the higher-ups don't mind this group and are going to cover things up for them, apparently the way to actually handle it is to have them die in the dungeon. Probably die in the dungeon. All right, this sticker might not hold. It might not stay because the way it has to bend. It might pop off here. I'm trying to... This is, again, a sticker from 1996. The fact that it has any sort of... it works in any way, shape, or form is kind of remarkable. But it is not holding on this piece of plastic that well. But as long as it kind of works, that's all I really need. I don't need it to be perfect. I just need it to somewhat adhere. But the fact that these stickers aren't working perfectly is not a surprise, considering that they are almost 30 years old. In fact, if they worked perfectly and they were 28 years old, or 28 years old and worked perfectly, I would be very shocked. There is some blocking spray that I could use, which I don't own. What I'm actually going to use is I am going to brush a little bit of liquid cement on here, which will also kind of adhere to it. It won't burn that, but it will kind of adhere it to the surface. This is not a good solution, but it is an okay solution. And by solution, I don't mean solution. I mean you know what I mean. Okay. Oop, came off of my hand. Hooray! Ugh. Tiny old. Hey, I found out my new thing that I don't like more than stickers. The only thing I don't like more than stickers is tiny old stickers. Turns out I don't like tiny old stickers at all. I don't love regular stickers, but I hate tiny old stickers. Hey, Just Under Spicy, happy to have you here. Okay, so Belle finds out that there are murderers hanging out there that are not looking to just finish the dungeon, that are also looking to attack and kill other adventurers, and she is not pleased with that. She and Clay head off to find out who these people are and take care of them. Meanwhile, there is a moment where they attack the group of murderers, are fighting monsters, and they attack the healer that joined their party, Militant, and they're like, ha ha ha, and then they're going to attack her when a bunch of golems show up, and they're like, oh, fuck, well, let's run away and abandon her. She'll slow them down. They do not attack her. She is convinced that she's going to die because they are, part of the dungeon crew, they're dungeon people. They instead heal her, and they give her mace back and tell her to leave because they're not after her. Let's see. They separate the group and take them to the final chamber. And then Belle fucking destroys all of them. I thought for sure, folks, that this episode was going to be Clay having to fight these evil humans and take them out. No, Belle does it, and it's fucking brutal. She cuts one dude in fucking half because they're like, well, if we all fight her together, we'll take her out. And then she's just like, no, that's not going to work. And then one dude is like, run away while I take care of it. Even though he is a murderer, he is still cool as friends. To which she does not let that happen and wipes all of them out. And she shoots like an arrow, which she calls power arrow. At least that's how it's translated. At one of the dudes that is fleeing and just fucking murks him. All right, so I'm abandoning that little red, the red sticker here. I am abandoning that. That is not going to work out. The eye sticker seems to be holding. This kit will just not have a red part on its face, which is fine because it's not color correct in many other ways. Again, the idea of me thinking that 30-year-old stickers were always going to work is foolish. More of them worked than didn't, and that is still surprising. But that is unfortunately not the case for all of these stickers, especially ones that have to bend. But the fact I got any of these stickers to work from a kit that came out in 1996 is still pretty impressive. I'm going to panel line this before I put the fins on. So we'll hit this with some white, or some gray, I should say. And then we'll do the other stickers, and then we'll do the final gun and the backpack. Which we have to put on. So that's the end of the episode is Militant, again a new added character who encounters Fenn's group, and because she was just literally betrayed previously, she doesn't know if she can trust Fenn's group, but we know that they're pretty dependable. I will say this was a wildly violent episode. I was surprised about this. This one usually is like a little lighter and isn't as violent, but there certainly are stuff. I mean, there was a whole point where she killed all of the people that were definitely trying to kill her, and she silently took them all down. So Clay has definitely done violence before, and this wasn't like random acts of violence. This was like punishing evildoers. Um, but still, for the episode, it was definitely kind of violent and feels like this felt like an episode that should have been like early on to help set tone, and instead it was episode 11, and it was like, it wasn't like a dramatic change, but it was a change, and it was kind of shocking that we had that change in this episode. So I was kind of surprised by that, but I didn't dislike it. I'll say that. I didn't dislike this episode of Dungeon People. We got one more. This is a 12 episode series. Episode next week will be the last one. Let's see. Yeah, I'll put a little black on here on our fins here. Let's get a little bit of black on there because there's no other stickers on the head. Just those two. Just that two stickers, one of which I fucked up, but it's okay. Great. Head's done. Now I'll put these side stickers on, which again, didn't know this kid had. But it makes sense that it does have them. I don't know why I didn't do them sooner. Whatever. Okay. All right, let's get these on here. Okay. All right. This one, where'd it go? I had it. Oh, there it is. Sorry, everybody. Let me tell you a little bit about the last episode of I Parry Everything. This is the short review of the final episode of I Parry Everything. Okay, so this is the right sticker for this. Right here. Episode 12. So this is kind of like the show could have ended episode 11, where everything kind of worked out. This is kind of the follow-up. This reveals some information. Our main guy, Nor, who we remember has been trained. The reason why I said this is sort of this kind of fits in the banished category is he's never been able to get out of F rank. He only can do minor jobs. And he went to train in a bunch of different places. And it turns out he went to train with all of the members of the Sovereign Six, who we saw in previous episodes as the coolest people. And they all liked him in different ways. And now we learn how that training went in this episode. Because to Noir, these are all just people that he learned from, and he doesn't actually know how great they are. Sieg trained him as a swordsman and thought he had a lot of potential, but because the only skill he developed was parry, he had to fail him. So again, it's a problem with this country that he's in is so dominated by skills and the belief that skills are all power is, that he fell through the cracks, and he should have had a special dispensation because he can parry magic, which normal people are not supposed to be able to do. So he should have been grandfathered into some of this stuff, is what I'm saying. Let's see. Dundrag trained him as a warrior and was impressed with how strong he is, but because he didn't learn any warrior skills, had to fail him. And that's also the case with the archer tried to train him in archery, but he was so strong he broke he had great accuracy, but he was too strong and broke all of the bows in training, so you had to fail him. Karex he wasn't stealthy enough, so even though he was quick and speedy, he couldn't learn stealth, so couldn't be a thief. Oaken was like, this dude could definitely be a wizard, but he's got too low level of mana and he's not going to ever grow out his mana pool, so we gotta fail him. And then originally he was supposed to be trained by a healer, but couldn't do it at first. But then when he found out that he was that impressive, he learned low heel, which we learned before. But that's the only thing he could learn, so he didn't get past. And then all 6 of them finally talked to each other, and they all found out that they had a promising student that they would like to train more, which was Nor. And when they went to go find him to be like, actually, hey, let's individually train you. We'll figure something out. We'll get you a high rank outside of this system. He had disappeared. That's when he went into the woods to only do parries until he magically learned another skill for 10 years, which he didn't. He had disappeared. So that's all the thing. That's the whole reason all of this happened, was they were waiting for him, and he just never showed up again. And then years later appeared. He goes back to the guild. The guild master has no idea that Nor saved the whole country from an invasion. He's just like, where were you? I've got all these jobs for you to do. And of course they are low-level construction. So he gets tasked with, the guy that saved the whole country gets tasked with, hey, go out there. We need somebody to clear up all this rubble, which Nor is like happy to do. And as of course, even though he is overqualified, very good at. He's very good at doing that job. So he does that. And then the king is certain that the country that attacked him were set up by another country or enticed to do it. And there's probably going to be a war coming, and it'll be a more difficult one. But he's like, honestly, it's really like, kind of final thoughts. He's like, it's so nice that we have Nor here because he'll defend the country. It's so good that we have this dude. And of course, it ends with Nor, who does not know that the actions that he took part in pretty recently saved the whole country. He was just doing his best, is excited for the possibility that someday he'll be able to go on a real adventure and maybe rank up in the guild. And that's where we end things. I do not think that we will get another season of I Parry Everything. This is on High Dive. I recommend it. It is dumb fun. If you are looking for a dumb fun series this season, there are several. This one is my favorite of the dumb fun shows. Again, there are several of them to choose from. There always are. But this one ranks high as my favorite because it is just so goddamn goofy. And if you do not like the idea of a guy who just can never seem to understand that he is strong and powerful, this might not be the series for you. I am okay with that kind of story. I find it fun and fine. So I had a good time with this one. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a show that I enjoyed quite a bit. I'll probably talk more about it next Tuesday when I do my Pat Bear's Anime Club Live. Next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, I will talk about all of the shows from the summer 2024 season, and I will preview the shows for the fall season, which is starting very soon, and go into all of that in great detail. I'll talk about the shows that I watched and the shows that I did not watch, and a little bit of all of them, including the shows that next week I will be talking about as we get, the in-between where shows end and new shows haven't started yet. I will be talking about a few shows that I missed out on that I might be trying to check out. No promises, but there are a few shows that come to find out people really like that I didn't give a chance to. So maybe I will watch the first couple episodes of Madoka Punch or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'll watch one of the episodes of the many... I put this on wrong, huh? I put this on wrong? Yeah. I'll watch one of the many episodes of there's the VTuber show that seemed kind of interesting that I didn't watch, and there's a few other ones. All right, I put this on wrong, so I'm going to try to pop this apart and put together correctly. I don't know how to do this properly, but this is a gun that lists on the shoulder, and so this handle needs to come down so you can hold it, and so I've got to pop this open here. Okay, got it almost all the way apart. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you into? Did you go to the movies this weekend? You cracking open some books that you're jazzed about, that you want to tell me all about? Like, what's going on with you? I always like to hear from people. Okay, that's how it's supposed to go. Great, I got it. I always like to hear from you about what you're up to and into. So let me know in the chat. I will tell you. I mean, you know me. It's a lot of Hearthstone these days. Still playing a lot of Hearthstone. Today did have the Oktoberfest thing that I went to, but I also hung out and did a little bit of yesterday. Played some Fiasco in my crew, the drop-in crew. Did a Fiasco game. I didn't run it. I was just a participant. It was kind of last minute that I got the invite to jump in. And we were doing a fantasy setting, which was really fun, with pre-rolled characters, which I don't always love, but somebody had a scenario that they wanted to run with small stakes, and they're going to bring it to their crew that they run a larger game with. So we had archetypes that are similar to this group, because they wanted to test that out. So it was kind of like a play test for a larger scenario that someone is doing another thing, which is unique, and I haven't done that in a while. I've play-tested games, but I haven't play-tested scenarios in a long time. So that was very fun. It was a dungeon that was set up like a tower, and that was really fun. And then it was run via dice rolling with Fiasco and Persuasion and various other things to battle your way through the tower. And that went really well. We played for like 2 hours yesterday, and we did pretty well with it. And then we gave feedback. Then we did a feedback session and gave feedback to the runner, to the GM, about what we thought about the scenario. Sorry, let me just roll up a little bit closer here. So we gave some thoughts to the GM, and I had positive feedback. Other people also had positive feedback. I think let's see, I need 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Okay, and I think overall it was a good time. So that was fun. And I'll give y'all some more time to write what you're up to and into in the chat. Is there anything else that I did those 2 days? I watched both shows that I talked about here. I watched tonight. I should have watched at least one of them yesterday. I left it all to the last minute, but they were fresh in my mind. And that's rare. Usually I end up watching shows like a couple hours before so I can collect my notes. But I watched both of those tonight. Again, shouldn't have done that. Should have done at least one of them in advance. That was a goof on my part. But it worked out. Everything worked out okay. Tomorrow I am going to, as always, play more Hearthstone. I will do my second to last of a ongoing series that I've been doing on Co-host. Co-host is shutting down. It's going read only. It will end at the end of the year, but it's going read only October 1st. So tomorrow will be the second to last time that I am doing a ongoing weekly thing. One Sunday on co-host towards the beginning, not in the very beginning of it, but towards the beginning of co-host, I decided that I was sharing a what was I going to say? Oh, I was sharing a band that I liked. That featured the song featured a solo on a shamisen, and I was like, "Well, everybody, it's Shamisen Sunday, so get ready to we're gonna play some shamisen music on Shamisen Sunday," and I thought that was pretty funny, and so I was like, "What if that was a bit? What if every Sunday I posted, hey, it's Shamisen Sunday,' and then I encourage people to post shamisen stuff and use that as a hashtag, because they had introduced hashtags on co-host. My internal thing was, I'll do this for a while and I'll get sick of it, or I'll do this until it becomes a popular hashtag, and then I will retire from doing the hashtag. Here's the thing. I never stopped doing it. I forgot to do it 1 week when I was out of town. I forgot to do it 1 week and then I just took a week off. But every other week I did it. It did not become a popular hashtag. One other person used it. Only one other person ever used the hashtag. So I didn't give up on it, but I did eventually stop thinking that it was, I thought I was just going to do it forever. Now I have 2 more. And I know what they are. I have them done ahead of time, which is convenient for me. Okay, so I have to put on some stickers here, and I'm not sure. Oh, they're the inside stickers. Okay, so this one is 54. So yeah, tomorrow is the second to last Shamisen Sunday. I have thought about maybe doing it on another social media, but I think instead I am going to come up with a different gimmick and premiere that the following Sunday and come up with another idea because I like the concept of constantly coming up with silly, goofy ideas. You may remember briefly the social media channel or website called Ello. ELLO. They took the H out of hello. I did a similar idea on Ello, which was I only posted on Ello about the band ELO. So I only talked about ELO on Ello. And I didn't post it with regularity. I just posted whenever I felt like, consistently. And I didn't post anything else unless it had to do with the band ELO. No, sorry, Lord Crashington. I did not talk about yellow on Ello. I only talked about ELO on Ello. And that bit was very dumb. And eventually I got sick of it because no one I knew used it. No, Lord Crashington, not a missed opportunity. A very specific bit that I did very specifically. That would have been a different bit. That would have been a different thing if I talked about the color or the band or the song Yellow. If I talked about Yellow, that is a different joke. That's a joke for someone else. My joke was that I talked about ELO on Ello. So I don't know what I would do on Mastodon or Blue Sky, but the idea of doing a continuous weekly bit on there is appealing to me. So I don't know if I'm going to do that. But again, I have thought about doing that, and I like the idea of it. But yeah. So going through to what y'all have been writing, Lord Crashington played some Mr. Mosquito on PS5, and that game is still a wild game. Yes, Mr. Mosquito is still a wild, weird thing. It is bizarre that it exists and came out, and people have played it. It's a real video game. Just Under Spicy is playing through Astrobot, trying to finish it before the new Zelda game comes out. Good luck to you. Hope you have fun with that and the new Zelda game. Lashbrook watched Queen of Villains. I have not seen it yet because I don't have Netflix right now. I will get Netflix. I will watch Queen of Villains, which is definitely dramatized some stuff, but very good. Since I have Netflix, I now finally watched the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which was incredibly dumb. Yes. Now I'm watching the One Piece live action again. Hell yeah, Lashbrook, that's a good call. When I get Netflix next month, I also will probably watch the One Piece live action again. That does sound pretty good. I've also thought about, I have so much anime to watch, but I have considered watching Dungeon Meshi again because it took me so long to really get into it that maybe now I would like some of the earlier episodes more now that I really like the series. But I don't think that's going to happen because it's a long series. Aristophan watched the first episode of Agatha All Along, which Aristophan enjoyed. It was a good continuation of WandaVision. Aubrey Plaza has a great vibe. Yeah, Aubrey in there is a really interesting. That's a good casting to put Aubrey in a thing that is has elements of being surreal because Aubrey's whole fucking vibe and genuine like thing in real life that also translate into her acting is also elements of surreal and slightly out of place and out of time because she's just a fucking weirdo. She's just a weird bird. So yeah, good for her. That's awesome. That's good casting. Happy for her. Justin or Spicy is rewatching WandaVision before you watch Agatha All Along. That's cool. That's good call. Lashbrook says, speaking of co-host, I just found out this week that there is a co-host build club tag for model kits. Yeah, I should have been tagging my streams about model kits on there and never, my stream posts there, and never did. I did not take advantage of hashtags except for Shamisen Sunday. That was the only hashtag I ever used on that site, and I should have used other ones, but I didn't. All right, let's get this other sticker on here. We've got big stickers to put on this, and we'll get these stickers on, and then we will assemble this and get it all together and get it into the photos. Lord Crashton says, the casting of Mr. O of Joe Manganiello, I don't know how to pronounce his name right, and Miss All Sunday as Lyra Oba seem like solid choices. Here's the thing about Joe. You know that motherfucker is psyched to be Mr. O. You know that he is psyched. And here's the other thing about Joe. That's a big time nerd boy. Him being in One Piece, you know he's excited about it. You know he's gonna fucking give it his all because he also knows that the nerds will be watching him and judging him. Also, it's weird that they announced the rest of the top of Baroque's work and not Bon Clay. Yeah, I mean, I expect to see it. My assumption is that Bon Clay is not going to be anyone well known. They're going to go with an unknown for him, and so they're just doing the bigger names to start. That's my guess. I obviously don't know, but that's my general belief is they're waiting on it. Also, Joe needs to have, and he can do it, whoever gets cast in that role needs a evil, shit-eating grin, and he can do that shit. He's got that grin. He can pull that shit off. So, high hopes, but I also believe in him. I believe he can pull that shit off. That he can do that grin that he's going to need for that role. All right, it's going to go on like that. Yeah, I think he'll be able to pull that stuff off. All right, so this needs sticker. This sticker. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to get Netflix next month. I'm going to watch Queen of Villains. I am going to watch a few other things, I'm sure, that come up. Sure there's something on Netflix that I missed that I need to see. There may have been an anime this season on Netflix that I missed out on that I can watch in October, but I'll get caught up. But yeah, I just haven't felt the need to have it. I am still debating on if I'm going to get it on a monthly basis for all the WWE stuff that's going to end up on there because they're thoughts that maybe Netflix is going to have everything that Peacock has beside, and so like I don't care about Monday Night Raw. I don't watch Monday Night Raw, so I don't need Netflix to watch that. But if that's the new, network and stuff on Peacock goes away, maybe I'll want to get that. I also might end up keeping Peacock when my deal expires, which will expire at some point fairly soon. I might keep Peacock. I haven't decided yet. I can't say for sure. I'm not going to panel line this because we're going to do this with it all opened up like this because that looks the fucking coolest. So we don't need that. So we don't need to panel line the backpack. If I was going to keep this kit, I would consider, or if I was going to display this kit, I would probably do the backpack panel lining But because this kit is going to just live on my desk for a little while and it's not going to go on display, I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to put this on here, and there's a bunch of variations of ways to do this. Let's see. This is going to go like that. And then this goes this. Yeah, like that. Oh, did I do this wrong? I did do this wrong. Yes. Spin these around. Now this will be right. This backpack also holds all of the other weapons if you want to hold them in different places. We don't want to do that. We want to have them out like this because it looks fucking rad. And then we've got our gun. And of course, this gun goes on back here. And then can turn over because you can twist it if you want to do that. We're not going to do that. We're going to have it up like this. And that's our kit. This is the non-grade. This is the non-grade. Oh yeah, you turn it like this, which always seems weird. So we're just going to have it stick up because I think that looks better. But yes, this is the non-grade Gundam X from Gundam X, where I ended up not using the sticker for the face, so it doesn't look as great as the photos of this. But again, it's never going to look as good as the reference photo we have because that's for the actual high grade, because I could not find the reference photo for the actual model kit. That's going to do it for this build. We'll take a photo here of that. I thought this kit, considering that this is a kit that is almost 30 years old, I think it turned out pretty damn good. I think that the stickers look pretty great, considering the fact that one sticker didn't work right. Only one sticker didn't work right is kind of remarkable. I'm happy about that. Take a photo here. Yeah, I think that turned out pretty all right. If you find a very old model kit somewhere, I would say, yeah, if you want to get that old model kit, you should get that old model kit. Like if you see an old model kit somewhere, don't be afraid of them. Sometimes the plastic is very old and brittle and it doesn't work out great, but most of the time it's pretty cool. And you'll get a cool model kit out of it. Don't pay a lot of money for a very old model kit. I'll say that. But if you want to get one, don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of a slightly old model kit. Great. All right, that photo got taken. I will tell you about... I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this flyer because it's cool. Let me tell you about the next kit we're working on. This kit we will start on Monday. It is the Gaia Gundam. This Gundam does have a transformation. This is from... Is it from Destiny or just Seed? I think it's Seed Destiny. I want to say it's Seed Destiny. This kit does have some stickers. It's got some color corrected stickers. Of course it does. What it also has is a fucking transformation mode. It's got bonus arms. It's got a like animal mode. It doesn't have a flight mode. It's got like a dog mode kind of. And I think that's rad as fuck. I don't remember it, so it would be Destiny. Thank you, Lashford. Yeah, I do believe it's Destiny. Let me see the box. Gundam Seed Destiny. It is. It's Gundam Seed Destiny. You can see right there. This is a kit from 2005, but I believe some of these parts are from a previous Gundam kit. So they, so some of these are 2004 because the Gaia is based on another kit. So we've got some parts from 2004 and then some parts from 2005. The build of this is like A, B, C, and D, or is this all? This is actually almost all 2004. Okay, so it must have come out in 2005, but was being manufactured in 2004. Okay, that's what it is. So this isn't an old kit. This is a new kit. I mean, it's old because it's 2004, but it's not old because some of the parts are from another kit. All right. Actually, sorry, I'm rambling here. The best way to know is to look to see if any of these parts we don't need. And it looks like none of these parts are X'd out, which means all of these parts are for the model. So that's good to know. And we start by building the chest, which is very, again, a weird thing that happened in the mid-2000s. We build the chest and the head, and then the gun and the shield. We build the shield before we build the arm to hold the shield. It's so weird. And then we put the gun on. It's such a strange thing. And then we go to the legs, and then we build the waist, and then the backpack and the weapons that go on the backpack. And then we start working on the transformation to the ground assault mode. Is very silly in a way that I really like. This is the Gaia Gundam. You can see how it's front and back and the transformation mode from Destiny. The mechanisms and color guide and all that. It's pretty cool. I love the look of it. It reminds me a little bit of the Blitz Gundam. You know, it looks cool. I am surprised I have not built this kit previously, but I have not built it before. And we will start it on Monday. What are we going to do now? Well, right now, friends, we are going to go and raid. We're going to go find somebody doing cool shit because we are wrapping the stream up. I am going to go watch wrestling. So I'm going to go find someone doing cool stuff so we can go hang out with them so the party can continue. And then I can go, as I said, watch the West Coast replay of AEW Collision. Who are we going to go and check out? Who is streaming? How long have they been streaming? Should we go see? Liz has been streaming for 10 hours, and I have to imagine Liz is wrapping up. Because that's 10 hours. That's so long. I don't think we're not going to go raid Liz. We are going to go raid Old Timey Computer Show. This is who I raid when I don't know who to raid because Old Timey Computer Show is always on. They are currently streaming Software Etc. 101 Retailing Nights from 1991. This is an instructional video for employees of Software Etc. This is fucking perfect. We're going to go raid that. Feel free to come along on this raid. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I hope you come back on Monday when I start a brand new model kit. I want to thank everybody for being here. I hope to see you all soon. Yeah, I think that's it. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.